Hello, I'm David from Smarter Business Processes, and welcome to the Getting Started guide for our Smarter Dashboards solution. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the core admin functions that will enable you to create dynamic dashboards from your own Smartsheet data. To get started, let's go to the smarterdashboards.net website. And this is the login page where we can connect to either the US or the EU instance of Smartsheet. For this video, we'll connect to the US instance. If requested, click the Sign In button to log into Smartsheet, and then click Allow to confirm. So now we're logged in, we can see our Smarter Dashboards homepage, where we can access our existing dashboards, or indeed create a new one by clicking the button here. Let's take a look at creating a new dashboard. Now, before we start, we need to have created a Smartsheet token to allow us to connect our dashboard to our Smartsheet account. So let's go into Smartsheet. And from the Account menu, we select Apps and Integrations, API Access, and then Generate New Access Token. We give the token a name, and click OK. And then we can copy the new token into our clipboard, and we'll use this in just a moment when we set up our new dashboard. So coming back to the new dashboard settings, we can edit our name, and we can see our email address confirmed for us here. Remember, you can access more help by clicking these info buttons around the config screens at any time. The unique dashboard ID identifies our new dashboard, and we can either accept the default ID or enter an ID of our own. And the system will confirm if the ID we've created is okay to use. Add a name for the dashboard and paste in the token we just created in here. We can add a name for the company here if we wanted to, and then we just select yes, so we agree to the terms, and then create dashboard. Now at this point, your new dashboard will be created, and you'll be asked to configure your first view. But for this video guide, let's have a look at an existing dashboard to see the settings in action. So we'll come back to our home page and open up our demo dashboard here by clicking Open. And as this opens up, we can see this is our demo timesheet system dashboard. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is the view configuration. Now, one of the core features of Smarter Dashboards is being able to create multiple views. And these are effectively multiple screens where we can set up different sets of widgets for different uses. Let's have a look at the settings behind our main view. Now, since the features we'll be looking at today are admin related, we need to be in admin mode to access the settings. And we do this by clicking the Edit Dashboard button in the button bar in the top right-hand corner. To see our main view settings, again from the top right, we select Settings and then View Settings. And this is where we configure the settings for our view, such as the main data source and our set of filters. For the data source, we can either paste in our sheet ID here, or we can click the folder button and select a source sheet from our Smartsheet environment. We can also see the source sheet name confirmed for us here. We can edit the view name and specify a URL for the logo to be shown inside the view. And we can also limit the display to just the data belonging to the current user. We simply set this value here to yes, and choose an appropriate contact list column from the source sheet to limit the display to. Now let's take a look at some of our filters. So filters are drop-down lists, which offer the user a selection of values that allows them to change the focus of the dashboard, and these values come from the source sheet itself. We can create a new filter by clicking Select New Filter, and we're presented with a list of all of the columns from our source sheet. Simply select a column that we'd like to use as a filter and click the Add Filter button. Our new filter has now appeared inside the filter list, where we can change its display order and define the wording that shows within the filter when a value has not been selected. Once everything is configured, just click the Update button to save. Now we're back into the View screen. We can update the dashboard title here and the view title just here. And as you can see, we can resize our widgets and move them around the screen with simple drag and drop. And once we've finished configuring the view, we just need to make sure that we've clicked the Save Changes button in the button bar. So now we've had a look at our view, let's take a look at some of the individual widgets that make up our dashboard. If you'd like to create a brand new widget, just click the Add button in the button bar at the top of the screen, and then choose Add Widget. Notice this is also where we would go to create a new view. For now, let's take a look at some existing widgets to see how the settings work. To open an existing widget, just click the Edit button in the top right-hand corner, and this will show the widget details. As you can see, we can define the source sheet ID in a similar way to when we set up the view. The default value here will be the same ID as the view, but you can opt to specify a different source for the widget if you'd like to. And we'll take a closer look at that in just a moment. But this widget is going to be using the same source sheet as the view. You can select the widget type here from the list. As you can see, we've got a great selection of types available. And we can enter a widget title just here. The rest of the options are type specific, so let's take a look at some of the variations. This widget is a multi-bar chart displaying two sets of data, billable and gross profit, plotted against each employee. This particular chart is configured to have horizontal orientation rather than the default vertical, so the X and Y axes are transposed. Now for the X-axis, this is the column we're going to be measuring. We've defined this as the employee column from the source sheet. And note we can actually filter this to include or exclude values as required. For the Y-axis, which will represent the values we want to show, we've selected billable and gross profit columns from our source, and we've set the chart operation to sum to show the totals of these values. There's a couple of formatting options too, so we can choose to show or hide the chart key and labels, change the font size for the label, and add a label prefix or suffix. We can define the number format, and we can even configure the chart colors if we'd like to. The default color scheme is the rather nice pastel rainbow color set, but if you choose custom, you can specify your own colors for each included value. Next, we have the widget click action. And this is a great feature to add some really intuitive navigation to the dashboard. This feature enables you to dynamically filter the view by selecting an element within the chart itself, like a bar or a segment. And the effect is the same as selecting a view filter from the left menu. You can set this filter to the current view, or even open up an other new view entirely, which will open pre-filtered by the selected element. And finally, we can configure the orientation of the chart here. When we're happy with the settings, we click Update to save. Let's take a look at some of the other chart types. So here we have a pie chart. And we can select the grouping just here. And this tells the system which column each slice will represent. In this case, it's the employee column. And then we can configure the value, which here will be a unique count of our projects column. And we've opted to represent these values as percentages. In this half donut chart, we have an example of a widget using a different data source. That's different to our parent view. This one is connected to our projects sheet. Where the view source and the widget source have a matching column, we can actually maintain view filtering within the widget by mapping the key columns together. We can also add table widgets, where we can build an interactive table of data from our source sheet. We add columns to the table by selecting from this list of columns. And these are the columns from our source sheet. We can change the display order, edit column titles, and we've got some formatting options too, like alignment and data formatting. We can also define which of our columns we would like to have inline editing enabled. And this allows our users to edit data directly within the dashboard. Again, once we're happy with all the settings, we click Update, and then make sure that we've clicked the Save Changes button in the button bar. So now we've got our dashboard ready to go, we need to share it to our users. So coming back to the button bar at the top, we can click the Edit Dashboard Users button. Here we can add a user by entering their Smartsheet ID here and clicking the Add button. This will give them standard rights to the dashboard, which will include inline editing if configured. And you can upgrade their account to be able to edit the dashboard itself by ticking the admin box. So as we've seen, our smarter dashboard is rich in really useful and easy to configure features. And over the next few weeks, we'll be adding even more functionality. We'd love to hear from you with any suggestions you might have, so do please submit your ideas to us. In the top right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a More button, here with the 3 dots. If you click here and then choose Contact Support, you can submit your suggestions or any other issues to us. So that's about it for our Getting Started guide. I hope this has been really useful, and many thanks for using our Smarter Dashboard solution.